Welcome to Inside the Tribe with Tyler Bridges and Tanner Davenport. Elizabethan versus Dobyns-Bennett. Me and Tanner were there. Pink out game.
Yes, sir.
It was at Science Hill. Let's talk about Austin Sykes. What a performance.
4 total touchdowns. Great game. Best game of the year I've seen.
50 yards on the ground.
2 rushing touchdowns. Tegan Begley also had 84 yards on the ground. Good game from him.
Yep.
Sykes threw for 136 yards to the air and 2 more touchdowns. Both of those to Rome Pruitt. He had 6 catches, 67 yards, and a game-winning touchdown to beat the Cyclones at Science Hill. The game was moved to Science Hill due to flooding. Unfortunate for that, but
Rome Pruitt, game-winning touchdown.
Great game. That game was electric.
It was a very, 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 very good game. It was really enjoying one to watch. Let's move into next week at J. Fred Johnson.
Taking on William Blunt
High School. I think the keys for us. We got to stop the rushing. Did a good job of that last week, sort of.
Good enough to get the win.
That's all that matters. But we did allow a touchdown on the ground. How else did they score their touchdowns? Oh. Am I missing something? Oh. 2 rushing touchdowns from Elizabethan.
Happens. Defense played great all year. Coming off of a bye week, I'm looking for us to just dominate William Blunt, if I'm being honest with you. We've had a whole week of fall break to watch some film and stuff on him, and I think we'll be fine in that game. Anything else you want to talk about?
I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be electric at J. Fred tomorrow night.
We're back finally after 3-4 weeks on the road.
I think it's going to be good. I'm excited.
Let's talk about some college football from last weekend.
Let's do it.
Any game in particular you want to talk about?
You want to talk about Tennessee, Florida first?
Sure. I was there. That place was loud. Very loud.
It's the best atmosphere in college football.
Never been to a game that big. Tennessee down 3-0 at halftime. That's
the second straight week.
I'm not mad that we were losing at halftime. I'm just mad we had 0 points.
It's ridiculous.
Tennessee-Florida rivalry. Big game every year. You know Florida's going to play good against them, but most of the things we were doing were beating ourselves. They really wasn't even doing nothing. But end of the day, Dylan Sampson is a grown man when it comes to running the football, and he's the leader in the locker room.
That's what I've heard too. I've heard that he is the leader, and he really motivates the team the most.
He had 3 touchdowns on the ground, and one of those was also a game-winning touchdown.
In overtime, which should never happen against.
Let's talk about Tennessee's opponent for this upcoming week, Alabama. I want to talk about their game against South Carolina.
I still want to talk about our past weeks.
We
need to talk about the issues.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into this.
Play calling is horrible. Do you agree?
I 100% agree.
And when Heupel calls a play,
we need to be executing it better.
It needs to be executed better. We don't need to have fumbles or underthrows or overthrows.
Throwing it into double coverage, triple coverage, as a matter of fact. But
that was not the best game I've seen out of Nico.
I can't defend that one.
And I think there is room for improvement.
Freshman mistakes, I can definitely see that. Because in the past years, since Heupel's been there, we've had a veteran quarterback who didn't make the mistakes like that. Love or hate Joe Milton, he didn't throw a lot of picks. So it's just something Tennessee fans are going to get used to, and defense wins championships, and we got a good defense.
We have a great defense. Big loss, though, Keenan Pili.
Yep, torn ACL out for the year. Sucks.
Sad, yeah.
A leading tackler, but got to fight through adversity.
Things happen. That's how.
Now you want to talk about Alabama, South Carolina?
Yeah, let's talk about Alabama, South Carolina.
Yeah, I want to talk about them from last week.
Yeah.
Alabama's got some problems also right now. Their defense cannot, their secondary is not good. They've got to stop the pass game. If you watched the Vanderbilt game a couple weeks ago, Vanderbilt demolished them through the air and the ground, as a matter of fact, with that option with Diego Pavia. That was the worst defensive game I've seen Bama play since the Tennessee game in 2022. I
do want to talk about the end of that Alabama-South Carolina game, and this goes along with what you said about their pass defense. Well, I mean, Lenore Sellers had wide open men touchdowns. Missed the 2-point conversion. They were lucky enough to get
Wide
the
open
onside
on the
kick.
2-point conversion also.
Lucky enough to get the onside kick, and he threw it directly over every single receiver on the field, right into a Alabama secondary.
We'll say that pass he threw to potentially tie the game, the touchdown to Nick Harbor.
Yeah.
That was a great throw and catch. That's the best game I've seen South Carolina play all year other than the Kentucky game. Bama's got some issues, and Tennessee's got some issues. Both teams trying to figure out who they are so far this year, and I think it's going to be a big test for both teams coming Saturday. Anything else you want to talk about from last week?
No. I want to talk about Tennessee, Alabama a little bit.
All right, let's do it.
I think that we need to Ryan Williams, Jalen Milroe need to be stopped. I think Jermon McCoy and Ryan Williams.
Jermon McCoy's putting Williams on locks, but my biggest, I promise, I'm standing by that too. My biggest concern is Milroe's legs. If you've watched Tennessee in past years, you know we've never been good at stopping mobile quarterbacks.
I'd say, well, if he just goes off ridiculous, I'd say we'll eventually put a spy on him.
Now, I will say, last year when we played Bama, he did not have a good running game, but he beat us through the air. We're not going to talk about that.
But our defense wasn't as good last year.
That it was not. So I'm looking for James Pierce to have another big game. Bama's O-line is still trying to figure out who they are. So I think it's a battle of two good teams who haven't quite figured everything out yet and put the pieces together.
What else we got this next week? Texas, Georgia.
Texas, Georgia. We can talk about that a little bit.
It's gonna be a good game. I think it's gonna be pretty good.
Georgia needs to win this game.
I think
I
think Georgia's a weird team right now. I think they're in a weird spot because they lost to Alabama, but we all know that they're a great football program.
Yeah, they showed a lot of fight in that game, coming back from down 28-0.
I mean,
that's good.
Yeah.
Also, I will say Mississippi State put 31 on them, so
that does say a lot about their defense. Mississippi State is not a favorable team.
Florida versus South Carolina, or Florida versus Kentucky this week. You want to talk about?
I think that'll be a great SEC
Lagway
matchup.
makes his second career start due to Graham Mertz tearing his ACL also in the Tennessee game. That's tragic. Feel bad for him.
Tennessee fans.
But Kentucky's got to come to Florida to play that game, so I don't think
it is sad. Graham Mertz.
It is. He was having a pretty good game.
DJ Lagway is going to have I think he's
phenomenal
going to have a
career
there.
Well,
as long as they don't fire Napier and he don't transfer out. You know what I mean?
Napier's an awful coach.
Yeah, but
I know.
Don't you think if they fire him, he'll transfer?
Yeah. Well, you want to move on to NFL?
We can do whatever you want.
Let's do it. Let's move on to NFL. Last week the Saints and the Buccaneers played.
That was ridiculous.
I'll let you go ahead and I don't want to talk about it.
It's his team. They were up, 27-24 at halftime? Didn't score second half point. 51-27.
That was pathetic.
Texted me, I guess, when they were up, and said some pretty good things about Spencer Rattler.
He did show some flashes. I'm not gonna lie.
And then I checked the score later, and it's 51-27. I don't know how you put up 51 points in an NFL game or let up 51 points in an NFL game. I mean, that's a bit ridiculous.
All I got to say is at least I'm not a Cowboys fan.
That's rough. I don't remember the final
Bonds
score.
are good. That's 47-9. You kidding me? You got CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. You should score more than 9
Jerry
points.
Jones.
That's pathetic.
Jerry Jones is ruining that organization.
I can
He's
agree.
still living off of what Jimmy Johnson did in the 90s. It's all he's doing.
I could agree with that.
He shouldn't, man. He needs to relinquish his GM status to a football expert.
I'll tell you a game that I watched last week that was a very good game between two elite quarterbacks. One elite quarterback, one upcoming star, Ravens and Commanders, between Jaden Daniels and Lamar Jackson.
I didn't watch that game.
I did. Jaden Daniels, best quarterback out of that class last year. Better, and Caleb Williams played great last week too. But
Caleb Williams, he's pretty good.
Jaden Daniels is looking like he could be the
I
next
do
Lamar
think
Jackson
Jaden
RG3
Daniels
type
is pretty
person.
good, as long as he stays healthy. Which we know that Washington doesn't have a good history of quarterbacks staying healthy. I want to talk about the Jets and Bills.
Okay.
It was a great game Monday night.
I didn't watch a lot of it. You did,
It was really good. The penalties were a little bit ridiculous. It was tied for most accepted penalties all season. Every play felt like there was a penalty. But I think it was I think it was a great game. Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers both had good games.
Josh Allen looked
Devontae
very good.
Adams.
Both teams
The day after
Amari Cooper.
decided they had something wrong. So Bills got Amari Cooper, Jets got Devontae Adams. Adams, Aaron Rodgers are reunited.
Bills are going to look. Bills are. I mean, they're sitting at 4-2 without Amari Cooper, but with Amari Cooper, that just gives Josh Allen another receiver.
They'll be definitely one of the top teams in the AFC.
You want to talk about the Bengals?
I want to talk about the Bengals too. Joe Burrow, 47-yard rushing touchdown. Ridiculous.
What was that in?
First. It was literally the first drive of the ball game. We didn't score again until
after halftime.
Halftime.
Looks like T. Higgins played good. He had 77 receiving yards.
We didn't play.
They won.
Bengals didn't play.
They won.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
We shouldn't have 2 wins on the season. We should have more than that. We're not.
I agree with that 100%.
Let's talk about NFL next week a little bit. And
yeah, we'll do that real quick. Eagles, Giants. I mean, I ain't really got much to say about that one. That's just the first one I've seen because it's a rivalry.
That's a rivalry?
Yeah.
Let's talk about a Super Bowl rematch.
All right.
Great game. I think it's gonna be pretty good.
I think the Chiefs need to.
At San Francisco?
They need to get a receiver.
The Chiefs do?
Yeah.
I think Xavier Worthy.
He needs to step
up.
I think rookie, a big role.
I think he could be that guy in a year or two. I think he could definitely be the next Tyreek Hill.
They need him to step up this
or something.
year too.
I mean, he's got that Tyreek Hill speed. He's just not. He's bigger too. I think he'll be a great upcoming. I think we need to get the picks.
All right, it's fine with me.
I think it's time.
College football
Let's do
picks.
it.
Let's do it, son.
Let's do it, son.
All righty.
Alabama, Tennessee.
I mean, I don't.
Neither of us.
I'm not.
We're both Tennessee fans. Do I think that we're going to have to execute some things that we might not have
everything
at other points of the season?
We got to have 50-50 stuff go our way. We can't have dumb holding calls and stuff like that. We've got to execute every play.
But with that being said, it's in Neyland. Crowd's going to give us a little bit.
I would take Tennessee if I wasn't a Tennessee fan, just because it's in Neyland.
It's going to give us a little bit of help. Best atmosphere in college football.
Without a doubt.
Tennessee. Georgia, Texas. I have some thoughts about this game. Carson Beck, I think he's overrated. I think Quinn Ewers is the superior quarterback by a lot. I like Quinn Ewers. I think that he's definitely got the explosive pass ability.
With Isaiah Bond?
He's ridiculous. Fast.
That's who I like.
That's a game changer for Texas, Isaiah Bond. I think it is.
I genuinely think Texas is going to win the national championship.
I don't know. I'm not going that far.
That was my pick before the year started. I'm going to stick by it.
I have Texas.
I'm not. I got Texas by like 10 points in that game.
And home team advantage also.
At night.
Makes a big. Same thing with Indiana. Not a great school.
No one knows anything about them right now.
They have a.
They're 6-0. I do know that.
They're 6-0. They have a great home team advantage. Mm-hmm. I know the Indiana football fans are definitely.
Their head coach just wins if you know, you know. But with that being said,
that's what he said.
Give me Dylan Raiola with the upset win.
I already don't like Patrick Mahomes. We don't need another one.
I don't
know. Not a big fan.
That's just my upset pick for this week. But I'm gonna go into NFL.
Well, this is an upset technically.
Well, yeah, but go Vols.
Go Vols. Yeah. Bengals,
NFL picks. I know who you're. Actually, I don't know who you're gonna pick. I ain't got much to say about this.
If I'm being truthful,
they aren't good. Deshaun Watson's awful.
I don't know.
No, Amari Cooper, they're good.
Deshaun Watson sucks, but our defense sucks even worse. But is our offense good enough to overcome that? Yes, if our line blocks. Did right.
Undefeated Vikings. Right, they're undefeated. Yeah.
Sam Darnold,
Justin Jefferson.
Out of nowhere.
I'll give you that.
Out of nowhere, Sam Darnold is just the best quarterback in the league.
The lines are built different. Jared Goff is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now.
I agree with that. 18 for 18 is ridiculous.
I'm taking the Lions to win that game.
I also like the Lions.
Okay.
I like their defense a lot. I like Brian Branch a lot. He's ridiculous.
Chiefs, Niners. I got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs.
No. 49ers have so many explosive people. It's ridiculous. Give me 49ers. Whatever you want to say about Brock Purdy, you can say it. If you say that he's built because of his weapons, it's whatever. I think he's a great quarterback, regardless of his weapons or not.
That's the most iffy pick I got, though.
I think it's 49ers. I got 49ers.
That about does it for this week's
Yep, thanks for joining us.
Inside the Tribe. Thanks for joining us.
We'll be here
See you
next
next
week.
week.